to this segment of the Alexis K. Tyler Vagina Power Show. We're dealing with vagina power today. We're dealing with spiritual sexuality on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Would you be my Valentine? I'm actually looking at myself right now and I'm asking me, would you be my Valentine? I remember when I was little and I was in elementary school with my grandmother and the projects, and it was very nice back then uh, in Herndon Homes, downtown Atlanta. And my grandmother would buy us this Valentine stuff. She celebrated every holiday with us, me and my half sister, and she treated us just like we were her daughters, but she was harder on me. She made me do things that she never made any of the grandchildren do. And I asked her about that one day, and she said, I don't know why I did you like that. Something just told me to do you like that. And I was like, okay, and now I understand. I understand it, I overstand it. And let me tell you, I know you missed me, and I appreciate the people that thought of me and that emailed me and let me know that they love me and they sent me a donation. And I really appreciate the people that really love me and support me. Let me tell you something. As I've told you before, you are my only family besides my son, who you already know I don't get to physically see yet. Um, and I've been so sick, I couldn't go see him. But I'm getting better and stronger. And I'm sorry, I couldn't come to you. It was very hard for me. I've dealt with a lot of sadness, and I've been doing a lot of soul searching. I can't deal with you if I cannot deal with myself, and I couldn't come to you like that. I wasn't able to talk to you. I needed to talk to myself, and I needed to do a lot of inner work, and I'm still doing a lot of my demon work, my shadow work. Ugh. People like me that have been through trauma and a lot of abuse my whole life, starting with my own mother, if they don't deal with it, they're going to end up going crazy. And they're going to end up attracting a lot of people that hate them and hurt them and abuse them. Some people are lucky and it doesn't happen to them. I've had some clients I've done readings on, and they were abused by their mother and abandoned, and they got good husbands to love them, and they have beautiful children to love them. That didn't happen to me, unfortunately. And it was just over and over, such a deadly, very vicious cycle. And having people close to me, even men close to me, that acted like, they liked me at first and then loved me and then ended up being very, very abusive and disgusting human beings and wanted to lock me in and control me and punish me because they were sexually attracted or addicted and obsessed. Some of you that have followed me a while, I have to be careful now because I get people that get addicted to me or obsessed with me that are male and female and don't want to go away. When I tell you I don't want to see you anymore, I don't want to be friends with you, or I don't want to be your lover anymore. And as sometimes it's hard for me to get away from them, and so I've had to learn uh, to be aware of that because I wasn't. A lot of people have that issue because they don't realize that it's something about them. They naturally have that something about them, that pulls people in, that makes people fascinated with them. And they never had a mother or father to teach them or anybody else to teach them to understand that it's not a bad thing. It's just a bad thing when you don't know what you are and who you are, and that you have certain abilities and qualities when you've had a mother and father figures, people around you tell you nothing, you don't know, and then you attract very narcissistic, abusive, sadistic people that really want to like lock you up or lock you in. And you know what narcissists do? They're going to blame it on you because they're obsessed with you, or be, they're going to try to force you to do something you don't want to do. I have had to deal with those shadows, the dark side of me, the demons in me. And that's why I wasn't capable to come to you until today, Valentine's Day. And I want to say also that, I appreciate your love and support. And I ask that people continue to donate and to support me and to love me and check on me. I'm alive. Of course, I told you I'm not leaving until I'm ready to leave, and I'm not ready to leave now. I got a lot of stuff to do, so I'm going to be here a long, long time. I think I know the age I want to go. I'm not going to discuss it, but I'm going to be here a while. Even if I decide to retire, which is what I want to do really right now, I just want to be alone because I have so many things to deal with, and I've dealt with so much cruelty from people and people that say they love me and support me and they don't. And actually try to destroy me. People that say they know me that I've never fucking met and I don't know. Said I did something to them that I never did because I don't know them. Never been around me, don't even have my phone number. I don't have their phone number. I mean, it's painful to me because so many people have been so disgusting to me. Sorry, it just went out right. I couldn't control that. It just went out. I'm dealing with the shadows, the shadow self of me. And a lot of people can't face that shadow, or they become drug addicts, or they go to psychiatrists and they get anxiety meds, antidepressant meds because they can't deal with the shadow because it hurts so much and it's so, so painful, and the wounds run so deep, especially if your mother, father, or those mother figures, father figures, if your real mother, father wasn't there, hurt you, abandoned you, abused you. It's just like I was thinking about that the past few days, and I was like, never having a good relationship with a man. I never knew my father because my mother wouldn't allow me to know my father. And I think about him every day, and I've been thinking about him a lot lately. He's been helping me through this. Um, and he wants me to sing to him again. So I have to get healthy, definitely to do that for him. When you've had that type of past, you have to really sit with yourself and get a lot, or just go to the dollar store somewhere, get a whole bunch of spiral notebooks that are like 99 cents, and a whole bunch of erasable pens, so you can sit with yourself and write and light your candles. It's like right now I'm burning red candles, and I said this whole month of February, since we're leading up to Valentine's Day, I was going to work on being my own Valentine, and working through loving me because I'm not with a man. I don't have a Valentine. And, I've been single for a few years, been self-imposed celibacy, where I don't let men come near me like that. I don't date. I need to fix me. And I realized the father issue with me. A lot of women, and I wasn't going to talk to you all about this. I didn't want you to know the shit I be going through, but I felt like some of you might want to know that are just like me and are going through the same things and haven't gone deep yet because it makes you cry and it makes you depressed and it hurts. And especially if a lot of men in sexual relationships have hurt you and you're alone to deal with the shit. I realize I don't know. I mean, of course, parts of me know, but I really had to think deeply about that. I don't know what it's like to have a good father to love me and protect me from any and all things, including my mother. Nobody protected me from my mother. Her husband was there to fuck and suck her. He wasn't there to protect and love her children that are not biologically his. And so I had to honestly think about that. And I'm like, I don't know what that's like. I don't have a father that taught me how to love and respect myself and taught me what a real man is for me. This nigga was there to be a man for my mother and to shield and protect her, and even shielded and protected her in the violation of her own daughters, you know, and her son that's not here. And I thought about that, and he would watch as she enjoyed inflicting pain upon her children, and he would enjoy this with her, and then she would give him permission to do this. And I went through all those things for Valentine's month, all February. I'm like, I have to deal with me. I can't, I don't want to get on the show with them and I'm talking about this and I'm crying all over the place. I didn't want you all to see me such a mess as well as, but let me tell you, I have been watching all of the events come out that I told you, Nipsey told me would come out. And things would happen with airplanes, with disease. Oh my God. Now we're going to get into that another reading. I can't get into that right now because I'm talking to the women that need to hear this that are just like me. But I've had my eye on the shit. And between the crying and while I'm crying, don't think drip sleep. Drip ain't sleep a goddamn bit. And for y'all, I've sent it to me on Instagram and sent it to me in my emails. Oh yeah, I've been keeping up with it all. And I've also spent time with Nipsey, and he's given me a whole bunch of new shit that I wasn't able to write down yet because he knows I got to deal with me, and he's been helping me through that as well since he's been with me since his assassination, March 31st, 2019, which we have the anniversary coming up again next month. We'll be in the March a few days. He has taught me so much about learning to be a woman and learning to love me and be comfortable in my own skin because I never was. So I'm going to get into that reading, just not now. And I think about that, and it's hard because I've had so many people hate me and so many women hate me and be jealous of me. And I'm just like, of what? You don't want to be me. You don't want to be like me. But these women have tried to destroy me, including my own mother. You don't want me on a planet, as if you can't be yourself unless you destroy and kill me. And I deal with me and all of my shit every day. And I'm like, who would want to be me? Who would want to do what I do? I don't know what their problem is. I don't really think they'd want to walk a day in my shoes. But you'd be surprised when somebody is jealous of another person. They think that person has something that they don't, and they see people admiring that person and loving that person and respecting that person, even though that person is very honest about their own issues and their own shadows and their own temptations, things they have to work through. You still have somebody that hates them and feel like they cannot exist unless that person is dead. And then you're going to come up and copy them and emulate them. It's amazing that the women that I've seen try to destroy me, I look at them as they talk about me, and she did this and she did that and she said this and she's fucking all these men that nobody can ever produce because I'm not. It's amazing to me. Even at my age, these people want me to be a whore and thinking that that's going to make people disrespect me. First of all, I am Alexis K. Tyler, Vagina Power. I came out in 2006 talking about the spiritual significance of pussy and dick. I'm the Vagina Power Queen. Sex is beautiful. Sex is natural. I don't care if you're 70, 80 years old, you should still be doing some good fucking. And if you're not, that actually stunts your growth and stunts your energy and the movement of your chakras and the Kundalini energy, and it helps to establish disease. I understand that by being alone, by individually choosing to be celibate, because I don't have a problem getting a sex partner. But that's the problem. Getting a sex partner is not going to work for Alexis K. Tyler. Because my vibration is high and it's different, I know that I have to attract a certain type of man in penis power. And that is very spiritual, understands, respects, and accepts me, who I am, what I'm about, my gifts and my abilities. And I cannot get to that level unless I deal with my own wounds, my own traumas, my own shadow self, and nobody can fix that for you. Now, let me be clear, because I used to say, I don't agree with that, and that person's weak to do that. I totally understand if some people, because it hurts so bad, and I literally have been shut down for the whole month of February. If that's not good for people to be shut down like me, because I am not under a psychiatrist's care. I am not on psych meds. I don't want to be. If people have to do that because they're not like me, they have to go to a job. They have to go to school every day. A lot of adult people are in college. Luckily, where we are now, a lot of stuff we can do. We can go to college online. We can download our classes. But if you can't, you have to be there or be at exams or different intern programs, you have to be present. And so if you need a drug, an anti-anxiety, anti-depression, and it helps you through that, by all means, you need to do that to get where the fuck you need to go and get past the pain of dealing with the shadow shit. Okay. So luckily, I don't have to be around people or see them or talk to them every day, but sometimes I may. So I just like to find natural ways and herbal ways and hormone balancing, and antidepressant stuff with natural means and herbs and watching my diet and doing all the work every day, controlling my own behavior, my own thoughts, my hormones, because you can talk to your body and tell it what to do and tell it what not to do and reprogram. You have to go into not just the genetics of who you are, but the epigenetics of who you are, because the epigenetics hold your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, all of the people on both sides that come through, as well as spiritually, that carry you or that cannot carry you and are crying with you and breaking down with you because they had the same issue and you weren't alive to know about it. So I'm glad that a lot of people feel open and they like for me to talk about these kinds of things. And to me, to be a healer and to be a leader, I have to be honest with you, and I have to show you the human side of me. Most people that are leaders and have a large audience or are authors and are teachers, they act as if they never have any pain. And fortunately for them, some of them never have the type of background that I've had, and they had a good childhood and they were loved. But the best teachers are to me, where life beat they ass, a nigga or a bitch beat they ass, money beat they ass, businesses shut down, they lost repeatedly, and they got back up. It doesn't matter that you lost. It doesn't matter if somebody beat your ass. What matters is whether it's a physical and starting off in childhood like it did with me, and whether they beat your ass in a business and took it from you, stole ideas, copyrighted them behind your back, trademarked them, created multi-million dollar businesses off of your multi-million dollar idea because you trusted them and you didn't cover yourself. It's like beating your ass like that in so many different ways, in a marriage and a lover and a friend betraying you and tricking you and making you think there's something that they're not. To me, those are the most powerful ones because they usually share their stories, because everybody loves a rag. to riches story. Everybody loves the underdog, unless you're just a hater. And some people rejoice in seeing that have happened to someone. I don't care who laughs at me. I don't care who laughs about my experience, because what matters to me is that before I die, I'd rather share those experiences. And I've heard you, and yes, and people have said that for years, and I have the manuscript for Alexis K. Tyler Vagina Power. I wrote it and broke down. That was what, 20 years ago when I came out in 2006, 2007. I couldn't finish it back then because it was too painful. Well, because I work with me every day, I am able to do that. I've just had to get in a place where I didn't have all the drama in my life. I didn't have be in this relationship where I was in with a very abusive ex who was very domineering, controlling, and very fucking just cruel, abusive. I had to work through that over the past couple of years because we officially broke it off. And the way he did it was extremely low down as hell. And I had to accept that and move through that. Um, and it's very, very, very painful when you have to walk alone, or when you reach out to people and you want someone to talk to and they don't care, or they listen like they care and then they go betray you, tell your business. So, I tell my own business. These are things, of course, I don't have to tell you, but I am writing a program around this and actually speaking to Nipsey and working with him. I am writing it because a lot of people always ask me, Alexis, why don't you write books about your life, your experiences, what you've learned, share it with us, what to know. I just had to get in a place where there was not so much war and chaos in my life to get to a peaceful place. And that's where I'm at now. And I want to say also that it's hard for some people, and it used to be hard for me to tell people that mean a lot to you that you love them. And when people email me, and even when they say it in the public comments, I respond back. Unless I really don't like the person, and you know me, I'm either hot or cold. I'm not a fake bitch. I'm not finna sit up and tell you something and be smiling in your fucking face and I hate your guts. If I hate you, you gonna fucking know it. But when people call me, and especially and people email me and say, "I just want to check on you. I just want to make sure you're okay. Do you need anything? Are you okay? You haven't said anything. You haven't done any videos." And yes, baby, I'm fine. Mama is fine. And I also want to say this is my compromise. I hate the auntie thing because I know bitches trying to throw shade. Don't call me that. Unless I'm really your aunt. Now, unless I say I'm your auntie, you can call me Auntie Lexus, Aunt Lex, whatever. Other than that, I don't like it. But then some people apologize and they say, I didn't mean that like shade. I meant it affectionately. You remind me of my real aunt. You remind me of the women I grew up with and where I came from. Um, I like mama or mother. I would accept that. So if you want to call me your mama, or what is some of the what is some people, what they call me? I love it. What is it? Grand, grand, like GRAND, like grandmother or supreme mother, things like that. I can accept. I can accept. You know what? I miss babies. I miss little ones in the house with the pitter patter. And I miss that word. And I know you all that have grown children now know what I'm talking about. The first time your baby called you mama, when you teach them to call mama, daddy, papa, I miss that. And when you think about what a mother is, oh, let me say one little thing, and then I'm finish this. When people email me and say they love me, that means the world to me. When you say you love me, because so many days I don't feel loved. I don't feel like anybody's there. And I realize that a lot of you are. But when you're in the shadows, uh, just like the 23rd Psalms, when it says, Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, Thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I feel like I only have God. I only have my ancestors. I only have myself. In his days, I'm just feeling like shit. And I feel like I have nothing and nobody. And somebody emails me and they say, "Where are you? How are you? I just want to let you know that I was thinking of you and I sent you something. Here's a screenshot of your donation and I love you." And I immediately respond, "I love you too." And I put the heart emojis because I do. And I'm not used to that. Years ago, it was always a conflict and drama, even when I was on television. There was so many black women that hated me. Not because I was a liar, but because I tell the truth. And I listened to yesterday some of Monique. I took some time out of dealing directly with myself, and I listened to Monique on Club Shay Shay, and I was like, I couldn't believe it because when she said some things, it reminded me of myself. Like when she said, I mean, I think he asked, well, don't they look at that as like, she said, people tell her, like, you talk too much. You always tell shit. And she said, but that's not the way I see it. I mean, I'm going to tell the truth. And if I think somebody's being fucked over, I think somebody was done wrong. Like the first example she gave, I think was growing up and somebody told her that the nigga that thought her baby was his, wasn't his, was by another nigga. And she was like, you need to tell him. And she was like, well, I'm gonna tell him. So, and people were like, you talking about, why did you tell that? And she was like, so you're gonna watch? She said, that's a problem in the black community. You watch people set people up, fuck them over, and hurt them, and you don't say nothing. And then when somebody says something, you talk to motherfucker much. You keep up shit. You start shit. You always, and it's like, well, why? When you tell the truth, you talk too much. You start shit. And Monique was like, and then she also said, I don't bother people until you bite me. And then when you do, you're going to have hell on your head. And I just was like, wow, like that's me. I think Monique is a Sagittarius, goddammit. And I'm just like, a lot of them are about justice, clearing up shit and doing the right fucking thing. And then you go after them, especially somebody like her that is like totally a grown woman and very confident in who she is and where she stands on her positions and speaking out and having no problem fighting your ass, just like she fought Oprah and Tyler Perry when they wanted her to work for nothing. And she called them out, and people were like, they're powerful. How could you do that? How could you say that? And she lost millions of dollars. I didn't know until she said it, and how many millions she lost. And Tyler Perry lied on her, and she has it on tape saying that he went around and blackballed her and said she was difficult to work with because she wouldn't work for free. And he was destroying her, knowing people are going to listen to him and trust him. And she asked him with her husband on the phone, and the tape is out. It's on what's the guy? I forgot. He's got Tough or something in his name or his channel. You can put it on YouTube and hear Tyler saying that bitch ass shit. He did that lady like that. And she still stood on all 10 in that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh wow. She's just like me. I'm just like her. And we're the same age. I couldn't believe that. I mean, you all let me know. I think Monique is a Sagittarius. I just don't know her birthday or if it's close to mine. Um, I don't know about that part, Dominique. I don't know what all went on. I think she did admit she left him, and that touched me when I heard him speaking as well. But from what her and her husband said, they still help him. I think they said 2 years ago they bought him a car. That he engages her, but even though he gave her a nice nasty read, baby, he was trying to act like he was over it. But I know that because I've said shit and talked like that, and he tried to be very composed. He's a beautiful young man, and his energy and everything, the way he speaks, he was trying to spare her. But baby, that was a nice nasty read, okay? And anybody that could see through that shit, you could still see that he's very angry and he's heartbroken by his mother. So, but Monique is trying to diminish that part. So I don't really know, but I think a long time ago I heard her say she left him because she wanted to establish her career and her money, and now she has this other family. He feels totally left out by his mother. I really hope they can work that out. And he even said they both are disinterested. I I think as a mother, at least what I'm going to do, if I'm wrong, I'm going to tell my child that I'm wrong. If he wrong, I'm going to tell his ass that he wrong, but I'm going to still be there. I'm just not going to publicly chastise my child, but I'm still going to fucking be there, right or wrong, unless he disrespects me. You're going to have to fix that shit, nigga. Like, we're going to have some misunderstandings and there's going to be some repercussions here. And he fixes it with me. But I would never turn my back on my child. He would have to turn his back on me and walk away from me. And if I can't take that shit, I'm going to go to my child, because I wouldn't want to spend the rest of my life without my child not speaking to me. But everybody is different. So I really can't speak on everybody and what a mother should do and what every mother should not do, because every mother don't have that shit in them. Like my mother didn't have it in them. When I was a little girl, my mother could go for 4 and 5 years and not even speak to us. And my grandmother was constantly there taking care of us. And she would call because she was out fucking and sucking and hanging with celebrities and partying with them in LA and all these other motherfucking places and building up her reputation and her fake ass supreme narcissist. Because if you meet my mother, you'd fall in love with her and you'd be extremely impressed with her because she's intelligent, she's cunning, she's shrewd. Also, she's a professional goddamn compulsive liar in this bitch. And the way she is, you would just be like, oh my God, I've had women meet my mother before and like, your mother's amazing. Oh my God, she's incredible and she's talented and she's a preacher, all this shit. Very charismatic, very charming, would just lure people in. People were just drawn to her. And then as soon as they leave, I can't stand. Don't tell them I'm asleep. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't like them. She knew how to play this game. Some people have natural abilities that they cannot help. And it's up to them if they're going to use them for evil or for good, because it's very hard to see through people who have something naturally about them that draws them in. And unfortunately, some mothers do that to their children. And so when he says they both are disinterested, I hope she heals that baby before he dies and before she dies. Because it's clear he still has some wounds and some deep resentment and anger towards Monique. That's all I know. So I can't speak about the depth of that relationship. She admitted she wasn't a mother to that child. She left that child on other people. I just hope that both of them, because both of them kind of feel like that from what he said, they kind of agree to kind of disagree. They're disinterested in each other. But to me, since she did him wrong first, she left that baby. It's her responsibility. She seems so happy with her husband, and that's her daddy and all that shit, that it seems like that world and that family and those children matter more to her than her first baby. But that was her first baby, and to me, I couldn't do it. So I can't speak on her, okay? Because she's doing something I never did. And that's why I didn't have a lot of success when I was very young and had my baby, because I didn't have anybody I trusted to leave that child with. It wasn't like it is now. You have internet, you have nursery at college, you can take your baby with you. We couldn't do none of that back then. So I couldn't, because I had to fight for my damn little pussy. I'm fighting goddamn internal family rapists, grown ass men at 7 and 8 years old, trying to rape me when my grandmother left me for them to babysit me, trying to goddamn do a full-fledged orgy tag team. 2 fucking brothers trying to do that shit to me. I'm little as fuck, but I'm fighting for my little ass and my pussy in my fucking mouth. And I don't even know what a pussy is, what an ass. I don't know what a dick is. I ain't never seen one. I could just sense intuitively, y'all not finna fuck me, goddammit. I don't give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck, and I'm 7 and 8 years old. Y'all gonna have to kill me in this bitch. That's all I was thinking my little ass mind. I'd rather be in a goddamn dumpster. Y'all can just kill me and throw me outside, goddamn, before I let y'all have my damn little 7 and 8 year old pussy. I don't motherfucking think so, goddammit. So just that shit, and I'm still dealing with that, and really just coming to terms with that. And to me, that set the foundation for every relationship I had with men. Why? Because my mother didn't check that. My mother didn't write that, and she told her daughters it's all going to be something for somebody to use and throw in the trash can. Nobody ever want you. Nobody ever love you. You know, be all this shit. I'm dealing with facing this shit, and I'm just that little with that kind of fucking determination with these grown bitches old as they goddamn is. Y'all did not have the discernment and the hindsight and the foresight to know who to leave me with and who not to goddamn leave me with. Y'all old bitches that left me here like this with these two motherfuckers that y'all look at and honor and respect because they men and because they family members. And I can see them at 7, 8 years old. I can see who want my little damn pussy and who don't. I can see through these old ass men y'all got around here that are family members, and even the fucking preacher tried to goddamn holler. As soon as I got about 15, 16 years old, and my grandmother was dating this fucking preacher, and he tried to holler, goddammit, on the low, and I think he tried to talk to one of her other fucking daughters. I don't know if she was my mother or her fucking half sister. So I'm like, y'all blind ass, bat ass bitches around here leaving little children. These children got more sense and sexual discernment than you know when it's a sexual predator and a monster around. God damn it, I got to stand up for my own fucking 7-year-old pussy in this motherfucker, because y'all done left me alone with them. Y'all at work, my grandmama at work, my mother is at work, but she lives somewhere else and she didn't want her children living with her. I told both of them that day. Neither one of them did not do anything as far as law enforcement or physically assaulted these men, and kept laughing and talking to them. What type of violation to a little girl is that? And I understood that shit. That never left my mind. So you are teaching me to have dysfunctional relationship with men and my pussy. You are teaching me at 7 goddamn years old to have fucked up dysfunctional relationship with men, and the first interaction with them, and these are supposed to be blood and family members. You're teaching me that it's okay to have incestuous relationship, to let them fuck on the little girls and the goddamn little boys, to teach them how to suck dick at fucking 7, 8 goddamn years old. And then you tell them, shut up, I don't want to hear about it, don't talk about it no more. And still laugh and talk with them. And you teach them how to have dysfunctional relationships with men based on my goddamn little bitty pussy, and teaching me that it's okay for a man to start a relationship with you. Fuck your brain, fuck your gifts, fuck your abilities, fuck who you are and your identity, and helping you develop that identity to stand as a strong woman in vagina power, mind, body, soul, and have a relationship with them based on vagina, pussy, and dick integrity, and treat this as a spirit, a soul, a human being first before you're looking at them as a female sexual object for you to bust a nut off in. That's what you're telling me. And you're telling me it's okay to let them do it, and I'm going to release them to do it, even though you're a child and you're in my custody and you have no say-so of your life, no control over your life. But bitch, I got more sense than you. And I'm seeing this as a little child. And in my mind, it's like, y'all won't protect my ass and my asshole and my pussy hole and this hole in my mouth. I just intuitively knew at 7 and 8, little bitch, you better be a warrior in this bitch, because you ain't safe around these bitches, because these bitches will deliberately and subconsciously, either you will directly tell these motherfuckers behind my back as a little girl, you can fuck on me and you're going to be at work, so you can use that as an excuse while he done bust my little pussy and asshole wide open. And I'm sure you won't take me to the doctor. If you just do because I'm so injured, you're going to make up another fucking story. You're going to protect the niggas that you fucking, and you're going to protect the relatives that you sicked on me, and they don't tell them what other little girl that you sicked them, because usually it's not the first time that a grown man would like to do that and bust a little girl's virgin pussy open. So I'm just like, okay. So in my mind, I'm standing here, this little rational. These are things I'm thinking as a little girl, and I don't know how the thoughts got there, because they didn't teach me that. But then at the same time, wait a minute, my grandmother would say, if somebody touch your little TT, you let me know. Okay, bitch, I let you know. But because it's a relative, well, we ain't gonna talk. I'm gonna say something to them, and they can't come around here no more. But you can't. Knowing the niggas catching me around the corner, said, I don't give a fuck that you are my cousin. I still want to fuck you. As I got old, like 12 years old, this nigga's telling me that with his brother right there, and they saying the shit. I didn't even bother telling my grandmother. I mean, what the fuck is she gonna do? Because she honors men. she basically was telling me, and the other women are telling me, you respect men more than you respect women. And my mother and her half sister was raped by family members. My grandmother did what? Nothing. You see what I'm saying? So all this shit to me contributed to the relationships I had and the relationships I didn't have with men and with women, because you grow up, if you grow up in a family and all the women are always competing with each other, the mothers competing with the daughters, the mothers are humiliating, degrading the daughters, because my grandmother did my mother just like she did me. That's not an excuse, because I never did that to my son. I'm still very close to my son, and if anything happened to him, I don't give a fuck who did it. It will be war in this bitch. I would never, never, ever, 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 and I never have turned on my son and disrespect my son, get out in public and trash him and hurt him. No, that's not going to happen. I made a vow to myself I would never do that. Feels. There are a lot of mothers that know how that feels and will do it to their daughters and feel better about doing that to their daughters instead of getting mental health, want to inflict the pain and damage and see them not achieve the highest and best in life and be happy with that because their mothers did it to them and they couldn't overcome their mothers, and still laugh and talk with them and will actually create a bond by doing that to their daughters, create a bond with their mama because the mama did it to them, still trying to get the mother's love, and then they will both double team the daughter and the other females in the family. They don't do it to all of them. They protect certain daughters to attack, or granddaughters, a certain way. It would be based on the demon that's on them and the psychology that's on them. So all these things I said for February, I was going. We always asking niggas to be Valentines. We always hoping a nigga ask us to be they goddamn Valentines. We always trying to be chose by niggas. And then a lot of y'all that do that shit, attracting wrong men, will hold on to the wrong man because you don't want to face the fact that you done fucked up again, and you don't want to deal with your issue, and you don't want to be alone, and you don't want to let the nigga go, even though it's very dysfunctional. And that's how I was. But you never asked yourself, because you really don't want to sit with your motherfucking self and do your mirror work and do your dark shadow work on yourself. Because a lot of you are afraid that if I do that and I deal with that, and if I ask this man to do that with me, a lot of times he ain't going to want to do it, or we both start doing it and we face off on each other. And I tell you what I don't like about you and my shortcomings, weakness and strength, and I tell your weakness and strength, they feel like that we're going to break up. And it's millions of people on the planet. But you just think you gotta be with this motherfucker, and this motherfucker ain't even good to you all the goddamn time. Or the motherfucker got mental problems, emotional problems, intimacy problems, dick problems, addiction problems, whether it's a physical addiction to drugs and alcohol, or whether it's an addiction to drama and dysfunctional relationships because they got problems with their mama and they child and their hood issues, and you got them and you ain't dealt with them and shit, and y'all coming together and it's totally chaotic, and you wonder why it's chaotic because you don't want to face yourself and you don't want to ask your own self, will you be my Valentine? Because if you just sit in the mirror, because I'm talking to myself in the mirror right now while I'm talking to you, will you be my Valentine? When I said that to myself, it took me somewhere else. Because I know y'all ain't never asked yourself that. Not honestly. Looked in the mirror and said, I'm not fucking nobody. Or even if I'm fucking, it's got to be on my terms. It's got to be something that make me happy as well as the person happy. Or a man that supports you. Some women do have men to support them. Why they go through facing their own demons? Because your man might not have the demons. But he supports you in it, and he loves you even though he know you wounded and you damaged, because he know you really a good person. And you're very good to him and for him. So he'll help you through that shit. When you say that, it's really good to have somebody support you. Whether it's a man you love that love you back, or people to support you. But when you don't, it's more difficult, but you still have to do it. If you want to not just survive as a victim, but you want to thrive and be very successful and who you are, and find out all your talents and your abilities. When I said that to myself, and I've never spent a Valentine alone and said, we finna get to the nitty gritty of this motherfucker. Will you be my Valentine? Because I've never asked you to be my Valentine. And that's not even something you're taught to do. You're taught to have a lover, a physical lover outside of yourself, a man or a woman to love you. And if you don't, you feel fucked up and there's something off about you. And other people gonna think it's something wrong with you because you never have a lover, you never have a Valentine, you always by yourself. Oh, you're miserable, you lonely, you gotta be miserable and lonely because nobody no more. Well, that's not true with me. Because niggas still physically want me. Bitches want me too, goddamn it. So that's not my problem. That's not my issue. People still find me attractive. But I don't. I didn't until Nipsey came. And until now, spending this time with myself and saying, will you be my Valentine? When you ask yourself that, boy, you need to have a piece of paper and pencil because I keep my paper and pencil with me. And I have my red candles lit right now. And I never thought about it that way because it created so many problems for me. Why? Because I had to dig deep. And I asked question, why you never ask yourself to be your Valentine? And we know, as I said, we're not taught to do that. You taught that it's not about you loving, respecting yourself and standing your own identity, your own power, and bring your own gift to the world in a way that nobody else can. You taught to find it outside of yourself. Somebody else got to accept you. The job got to accept you. The people got to accept you. The public got to accept you. Your family got to accept you. Your church got to accept you. Your synagogue. If not, you're going to have a problem. If people don't accept you, don't want to fuck with you. But what I know is when you fuck with you, that's when a whole new group of people are attracted to you and want to love you, want to fuck you. I'm talking about seriously fuck on you. Not just fuck you, fuck, but want to be your nigga and shit. Want to be your bitch and shit. Why? Because you don't need them. You need yourself. You need the love from yourself. You need to first be your own Valentine. Deal with your own fucked up shit. Embrace that. Toss away what you don't need. Focus on your demons. And it might take years, because for me, it has taken years. I'm still working through this shit. And then the more I realize, because it was so painful and it happened so long, literally locked in a house, tortured and abused for years by your own fucking mother and a stepfather or her husband. That's not my father. Going through this shit 20 years and then being thrown 19, almost 20, thrown out in the street in the cold with nothing. That was still a wound for me. That still is a wound for me. Then her following me around, wanting to see if I failed, and then trying to create the failure and bad mouthing me, telling lies on me, and people believing her because she's my biological mother. No, they don't know this bitch ain't shit. I ain't never been shit. And I don't, like I said, and I don't give a fuck who you tell how you feel about the shit. I don't respect any woman that leaves her child. Because you want fame, you want fortune, you want money. I understand that. But you don't have to leave your child. But really, your child is not somebody you really want to fuck with and be up under like that. And it's really not your priority. Your priority is taking care of yourself. And maybe you feel better because we're told if you have nothing to offer the child but love, then you really ain't loving the child, you hurting the child. So you need to go away, go to school or work or get yourself together, have somebody else take care of that child. You come back when you got something to offer. You are enough. And you can find a way to do that. I've seen people have more children than me stay with their children and go to school. They don't leave their children. I don't respect no bitch that do that shit. And especially if you don't write it, because it's your responsibility, because that child will not be able to talk, walk, sleep, breathe, eat, shit, piss without you bringing it here. You're responsible. That's just the way I feel. So I had to look at all of that and say, why you never ask yourself to be your Valentine? Why you want someone else to love you, but you don't even know what that's like because you never had a mother to love you. Your father was banned from getting to know you and love you, and then thrown and punished. I was tortured every day because I looked like my father. And I did not know it, but I sounded like my father. When a lot of times my mother would abuse me, turn her back on me, I would go in my room, lock the door, and sing. And some of these songs, I would be calling out to my Father. But in my depression and my sadness, I would sing. And this bitch didn't tell me until a few years went by, you sound just like your father and you look just like your father. If you go back in some of my old YouTube videos, I'm singing a cappella, and then I asked people to go listen to my father sing a cappella because I wanted to see what the public thought and what they thought of my voice, and would they one day come see me when I'm prepared and I do shows. And I was so nervous about that that's when I did the red carpet. What, about 5 years ago? I was in the church, Shrine of the Black Madonna downtown, and I sang for the first time in public. I had never sang in public as an adult. Never did. Was too scared to. Had too many insecurities and fears based on what my mother had done and said all my life. And when the public said, I listened to your father sing behind your back and I listened to you, and I could not believe it. You are a female and you're the female version of your father. I know that's your father. I believe that's your father. Your voice and your tone sounds like Jackie Wilson. And your face looks like him. Just you're just a woman. And I didn't have people around me to, and you know what, I remember before my grandmother died, when I did that show, I saw her because she didn't know I had that voice growing up. She didn't know that was my father until my mother told her. I was probably like 9 or 10 or something when my mother told her. And my grandmother said, I loved you like I loved the other children, but at the same time, my grandmother loved me differently because she loved me as if I was her child. But my grandmother was harder on me. She would make me do things like, you have to run. After you do your homework and have your snack, you have to run. And she would make me run around the projects, like right there around the building. We had sidewalks that go all the way around the building, and she would stay outside with me and time it. You have to run. It was hot as fuck. You have to go outside in the sun. You have to run. And I'm like, Grandma, Mama, why do I have to? Because I said so. Okay, you have to go to gymnastics class. And they were down there. She was watching them, like, have me on this mat outside in the yard, and they would work my body. They would take my arms and take my hands and take my feet. They would work them out and limber me up and then make me lay on my stomach and fold me up in what you call the egg roll. I didn't know the significance of that at the time, but she said, you have to do that. And I'm like, why? Because I said so. You have to hula hoop. And if you don't keep that hula hoop above your waist, you cannot come in the house tonight. You will not eat. My grandma was big as fuck and extremely intimidating. So nobody was going to say anything about it or do anything about it. I knew I couldn't get in that house if I didn't get past her big ass. So I had to stand there, and there was other neighbors, her female neighbors, they would lean on the banister on the porch, and they would talk to each other across the porches. And they were watching. Nobody said anything. They knew not to say anything, as if it would matter. She said, hold your hands up, hold your arms up. You're not going to hold with your hands. You're going to hold that hula hoop up with your hips and your butt, and you're going to swing it, and you're going to roll it around like I'm telling you. Throw your hips around. And I'm like, what? 8, 9. And I'm about to, you better not cry. And you better keep that hula hoop up as long as I tell you. It would drop. Pick it up again, 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 again. And I'm just looking at them. I knew not to look at them. They cut their eyes away. She's like, you look at me and you do it. I looked, I did it. I did it. You can see me, what was that, 2008? Like maybe 2007, 2008. I was with a friend. He was interviewing me, and we were in Walmart. I picked the hula hoop up, and I hula hooped back then. That was before I got sick and got swollen and stuff. And I could still hula hoop. And I look at me now, and I see the things I have to do, and the discipline, the amount of discipline, and the amount of time being alone. But my birth mother took me from my grandmother, so that teaching and her kindness to me, that stopped. I didn't have anybody around me like that. But even though it was the first years of my life, that still gets me through a lot of things. because of her discipline and her strictness. Now, yeah, she was a bitch. And, once I got old, I saw how treacherous my grandmother was. It's like, unfortunately, as I became a grown woman, my grandmother treated us differently. And it was the same treachery towards her daughter that she exhibited towards us. But then at the same time, it was confusing because a part of her would be kind and loving. And then the other part is also treacherous and two-faced. But, I can't say when I was little, like, I didn't see that shit. It was just, like, not directed to me. And so it was the conflict and the contradictions in her that I really didn't like. I hate people that are backstabbing and fucking two-faced. I don't like that kind of shit, and like to make up filthy lies on people. And my grandmother also did that to me, and for some reason she did it to me. And my half sister, she didn't do it to her other grandchildren. She worshiped them and they ain't shit. But I got to see the treachery of women growing up, and unfortunately I've still met the treachery of women. And a lot of these people, when they tell lies on you and they try to destroy you and betray your trust, if you really look at these bitches, they don't really have nothing to motherfucking offer. They're not as talented as you. They're not as creative and flamboyant as you. And nobody in the public is paying them any attention. And instead of them spending their lives working on their self like I did, and a lot of people that have been wounded extremely and injured extremely, like I have, then they could create their own platforms. But a lot of these people create their platforms off of gossiping and lying on people and trying to destroy another woman to build themselves up. And when you look at them, you will see these people only are relevant and only build themselves up when they are tearing down another woman that ain't bothering them, minding their own business and working through their own issues with honor and integrity. Women like that don't have any honor and integrity, but yet they will want to destroy you, including your mother, your grandmother, women in your family, your cousins and shit. They ain't your friends just because they're your blood relatives. They not your fucking friends. That doesn't guarantee friendship and loyalty and love to you because they're blood relatives. They can be your blood relatives / enemies and frenemies. A lot of you don't want to see it, or you don't want to fucking accept it. I've come to the point now I have accepted that shit. And blood doesn't mean anything other than the fact that you all are related because of it. Doesn't automatically give you loyalty. It doesn't automatically mean that they will have honor and integrity towards you. In every family, there's a black sheep. And usually a lot of times when that person is a black sheep, it's something about that person that they secretly are envious of and wish they could be, but the person doesn't know it. They just know their pain. It's something about them. They know they're different. They don't know why I was born into this family, why I have to deal with this, why I'm treated this way, and why everybody else is less than me and ain't shit, is loved. You know what? Maybe that's one reason why they love and accept, because they ain't shit. And because there's no threat to them being inferior and mediocre. And you are naturally born, with them with abilities and talents that scare them and that threaten them and make them feel insecure. So they want to destroy the child that they gave birth to, or destroy the child that is in the family. It's always something about them. When I think about when I was little, that's how I was always treated. Even by women, some of them are still living now, that babysat me. They were older than me. They treated me like that when I was a little girl. Once my grandmother would go to work at night and leave me with them, and I just never told my grandmother until I got older. So why should I be surprised now these same bitches don't like me and talk about me behind my back? They're fucking older enough to be my fucking mother. And they said when I was like 7, 8, somewhere around there, they keeping me. They was already fucking teenagers or late teens sucking dick and getting fucked, and then they have to gather some coins and quarters and shit together to catch the goddamn bus, catch the MARTA bus down here and get a fucking transfer, because they getting fucked in their ass fucked and they ain't even getting a goddamn bologna sandwich. You see what I'm saying? So these bitches couldn't teach me a motherfucking thing, no goddamn way. And as a matter of fact, now that I'm real grown, I look at them, the bitches still ain't shit on welfare, food stamp, and SSI, teeth missing and shit. Still paying rent, ain't bosses, don't own their own motherfucking property, don't own no business, no store. The only business that they own is on the phone talking about me and talking about other motherfuckers, goddammit. I mean, so it seems like I really didn't motherfucking miss nothing at all. And you all need to look at that. And the family members who, look, I don't know who you are, Young Memphis, but you can leave. Talking about who made me mad this morning. Honey, I talk like this all the time. I've talked like this for 20 years. And there are people that want to listen to it, that are listening, and that will go and listen to the playback. So if it ain't your cup of tea, just get the fuck on. It's real simple. You ain't got to be over here and listen to shit you don't want to motherfucking listen to. This is me. So I sat with those things as well and just stripped down naked for myself and realized, damn, this shit is still in me. This shit is still unresolved. And how can I move forward, or how can I say that I want these types of new relationships walking and talking in the old me? You have to change your personality. You have to change your thoughts. You have to change the way you act. You have to change the way you see yourself. Walk in that. Even it's the same as the law of attraction, but deeper, because I realized dealing with myself, it is the law of vibration as well as attraction, because the law of vibration controls what you attract and what you don't. You have to act differently. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to know what kind of millionaire you want to be, how many millions you want to make every year. What does that look like to you? What kind of shoes you wear, what type of clothes you wear, what do they cost, where do you get them, what kind of car you driving. Go sit in that, test drive that, photograph yourself in that, so you can start to feel the vibration, because it is the vibration and the emotions attached to the image that draw the image to you. You don't have to chase nobody. You don't have to chase no dick. You don't have to chase no money. You don't have to chase no business. Once you are that and you are vibrating and your pussy vibrating on that, you'll be somewhere, be at the doctor's office and shit, and be at the grocery store, be at a car show, and then that shit walk up on you, scare you to fucking death. Because you like, whoa, wait the fuck a minute. Because you can look in their eyes and you know who they are. Even though you act like you don't fucking know, you know what that is. Because that's what you've been focusing on, vibrating to. And eliminating the things that hold you back. So it might scare you. Might just try to turn and walk off from that shit because you're like, what the fuck? You know, because you weren't expecting to walk up on it, but you vibrated, you locked yourself into that frequency. And you've been locked into a lose and self-hate and second place and third place bitch and bitchy fucking on the side and, you know, get the low-end jobs and the low-end money because you ain't got no education. So what kind of education you need to vibrate to that $1 million frequency that you say you see yourself as a millionaire doing? So do you already have what it takes, or do you have to step your pussy up? You got to step your vagina power game up, goddammit. So that means you got to detect, based on what you know you want to be and how you want to get there and do that, what type of courses you need. You might not have to sit in there. You could take your online shit and do it in phases while you're at home. But you know that to get on that vibration, not only do you see that, do you walk and talk, do you feel that? Do you learn your body, and do you do your manifestation and increase the intensity and the rapidness that you're attracted to masturbation? If you don't have a spiritual sex partner, a manifestation fuck buddy. Yeah, I said that. Because if you don't have the energy that you feel that you need by yourself to raise your frequency, the most powerful way to do that is through fucking. I said it. Not just in it fucking to get your nuts off and shit, but you need a certain type of fuck buddy. You need a spiritual, sexual fuck buddy, or even a fuck master. A nigga that has mastered his dick and mastered himself, and he's into tantra. Huh? He's raised that frequency, and while y'all fucking, he raising yours, and he opening your kundalini to drive that motherfucker up to the 7th chakra, which is in your goddamn brain, your crown, top of your head, where your soft spot is when you born, and shoot that shit off into the universe. But you both of y'all got the picture though. Okay, we're gonna sit this up right here on this vision board. Okay, today we're gonna focus on money. Okay, and we're gonna focus on this house I motherfucking want, nigga. So, okay, when we fucking, this is what the fucking goal is today. This is what the fuck fest about today, goddamn. This is what the suck fest is today, goddamn. Now, we're gonna focus on this. You're gonna open my puss up, open my ass up and shit. I'm gonna open you up, gonna vibrate and meditate and resurrect to this level. And we're gonna, when we coming, that's when we're gonna see that house right down that picture, goddamn it, and that bag of money right down that goddamn picture. We're gonna write the amount on that motherfucker. See, that's the kind of fucking that I would only do. Going through this shit I'm going through. Just meet somebody because they look good and they got a good dick on them and look like it's good because it's fat and long and hard and juicy. That ain't gonna do it for me. So I keep them motherfuckers. I keep my door locked. I don't want no motherfucker like that easing in. Because it ain't leading to nothing other than busting a nut. You bust yours, I bust mine. I gotta douche my ass and wash my motherfucking ass and take a goddamn bath. And after we finish that, what the fuck have I accomplished? I bust a nut. Okay, this show was good. I ain't frustrated. Get that shit away from me. I don't want that. I don't want none of that. That's why I'd rather be by myself. This is self-imposed celibacy. No dating. Because I know how these niggas is in Atlanta anyway. And I don't want to fuck with no regular ass niggas in Atlanta. Because I know how they get down. I don't want no disease, goddammit. I don't live this long and ain't got one, goddammit. I don't want one now. Now I don't want to play them kind of games, and you not going to play that dick and pussy game with me. So, I'd rather stay where the fuck I'm at. If I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm miserable, I already know that's not about having another human being in that house with you. I enjoy being alone. I'm not lonely. Why? Because I just said, and I've said repeatedly, this is a self-imposed exile from dick. This is a self-imposed exile from bitches. Because I need to understand me, and I need to be the VP General that I know I'm going to be. I control my pussy. I control my desire. And one thing I know will bring a bitch down real fast is that you going around giving your pussy out. Throwing your pussy in and letting every dick throw it back. Not back, back. See, I don't have that issue. So when these bitches want to talk about me and make up lies, she's alone, she's lonely. No. It don't matter what you say, bitch. I still am fuckable, bitch. I still get messages in my DM. And they are always from younger men. I can't believe it. I guess they want some of that drip sauce. You know what I'm saying? Some of these men like older women. There's certain older women that they are vibrating to. Why? Because something in their ass and something in their spirit is telling them that that particular female, that older female that they are drawn to, got the juice to tune them up. Some of them will want that energy and that knowledge and that wisdom from that woman's pussy because she's older. Not just because she's older, but if she has a look and they can sense it, you'll be surprised. A lot of these men are empaths. They psychics. They just don't tell you. They pick up on energy. They read the energy of a bitch pussy. Not pussy, pussy. They can read it and you don't know they know. But they like, I want some of her because I know that if I fuck her, it's a certain type of energy that I need that she gonna give me. And a certain type of knowledge that I like her already. I ain't met her, but I know her. See, they'll know your spirit. And a lot of these niggas do readings. They empaths and psychics or somebody around there. Can you read such and such? Because I want to fuck them and I want to know, is that possible? If I did, what's that like? Because it's something about her spiritually that's turning me on. See, it's not always, oh, she's young and fine. She done got her body done. Her ass is real fat. I want to fuck a minute. It's not always about that. Sometimes these men will want to be around a seasoned, spiritual, grown woman because they want energy. And you have to be careful about that because some of them will drain you They like you. They want your knowledge. They like you at the soul level because you don't know. You're not realizing that when they're looking at you, they can see your ass. Yeah, they might think, if your age, you're very attractive, you kept yourself up. That's a plus. But at the same time, if this lady is regenerating at a certain age, I definitely want to fuck her. Because they know that you know something that they don't know, and that a lot of women don't know. And that they know you are tapped in to a higher level of information that's moving through your body and it's showing on you. And they want that DNA and the energy connected to the DNA to feed them, to nourish them. And women do the same thing to men. Just like it's a lot of older women that will only fuck young boys and young men. Not for the spiritual energy, but for their energy. And then they start looking younger because they will vampire off the nigga. See, that's something I don't do. I have no desire to take advantage of nobody. Okay. Now, if I meet someone younger and I really like them and they really like me, then we'll both feed off of each other. I'm going to teach you that whatever I throw at you, you're going to throw it back. So I'm not just going to be in vagina power because I'm older than you and you be at a deficit because you're younger and you don't know what I know and then I feed off you. I don't know. We're both going to do it. I'm going to show you how to rise in penis power. I'm going to show older energy. You'll be a younger man giving off an older energy, a very mature, deeper energy. And then if you go back to fucking younger women, it's going to be a problem because you're going to bust them up, turn them out. You're going to bust their chakras wide open because I'm going to show you how to do it. And I need you to do it to me. So that we can give and take this on, then they're going to be crazy. So because you're now more advanced, you're more mature. Usually young men that are really good lovers, either somebody has taught them or they've been fucking somebody older and you just don't know it. They was probably fucking somebody when their mama was at work, fucking a babysitter, shit, that was a grown ass older woman, fucking somebody in the neighborhood that was older than them, taught them how to fuck real good, how to handle their dick and handle their erections and shit and ejaculations. And then the younger women, they fuck somebody age and women be off balance. See, I believe that was Nipsey's problem. All those women picked at me and made fun of me. He's not talking to you, bitch. He would never talk to you, bitch. Oh, bitch, this and that. Yeah, but he did talk to me. And now you see that all the things I said the man said have come past in the major news. They have come to pass. They're still coming to pass, what I told you. Just like what I tell you, he said about the Boeing and some of the parts were deficient. They were substandard parts, like welfare parts. They were put on these planes, and then some of the bolts and some of the parts was missing off the plane. I told y'all that. People laugh, and I've been saying it because he's been saying about the Boeings since 2019 when he got here, and we're in 2024. And nobody can prove me wrong that young man was not here talking to me. And he clearly liked hanging around me, and he still do, because these things, just like I told y'all, a month or so ago about this weather, what's going to happen and what's going to happen in New York. Y'all need to get the fuck out of New York, especially so-called black folks, people of color, and what's going to go on up there. Look at New York weather. Look at California weather. Look at the fucking storms up there and the mudslides out there and them sliding, 100,000 with 100 million or $50-60 million houses, sliding them down a motherfucking hill where they don't mean shit. Just a whole, finna be a pile of wood and crumbs and shit out there. Just like the fuck these diseases, did I tell y'all, these mixtures of virus and these deadly strains and these new strains was coming. Y'all seen a couple of days ago that goddamn man got on that airplane. What was it, in another country or something, and vomited blood in front of everybody and fell goddamn it dead? That's a virus. And don't tell you motherfucker something right now. You know I don't give a fuck what you think about me and what you say. That motherfucker, somebody put that on that motherfucker, gave him that shit. He got up there as a guinea pig, vomited blood every goddamn where and all over himself and all in his cup of tea. His wife said he had vomited before then, pure goddamn blood. So many liters of blood. This motherfucker bled out and goddamn it fell dead in the motherfucking airplane. It is a airborne contagion. This motherfucker just released another contagion. Right there on that goddamn airplane. And I told y'all that them viruses and shit will be let loose on that airplane. When I told y'all planes, trains, buses, subway buses, all that motherfucking shit would come up under attack. A lot of train derailments. I said the shit before the shit goddamn happened. I said them viruses shitting and bleeding out their mouth and ass would happen, goddamn it. And on the cruise ship, I told y'all the folks would come up missing in sex traffic on the goddamn it cruise ship. Am I lying about Nipsey? Amius Joseph Ashkadam. I said he told me that shit. And now 2004, from 2019 to 2004, what I said he said has been on major mainstream news. Fuck you black bitches and fuck you black motherfuckers that want to destroy me and put me down, that don't never believe in me, that laughed at me. Y'all the only motherfuckers that do that shit. And y'all like to do that shit to each other. But this shit is on ABC, NBC, MSNBC, Channel 2, Channel 5, and Channel 11, and Channel 46 in the ATL, goddammit. This motherfucker also is making international news. Why are they saying what I said after I said it? Why are people showing and why people are doing what the fuck I said they would do before I fucking said it? It's always black people that will sit and laugh at you, talk about you, try to tear you down, try to eliminate you and kill your ass and wish death on you. Why? Because you don't believe in me or because you're scared of me? And because you want to be me and do what I do, but you cannot. So if you bitches can't do what I do and you can't see what I see and you cannot live in the underworld as well as being 3D like me, what makes you think you have the power to kill me? What makes you think you have the power to curse me and say, oh, yeah, she in the hospital. See, that's what she get because she done did me so dirty. People, bitch, I don't even know you. Oh, she tried to murder my children. I don't know your kids. I never met your fucking kids. Just lying on me. She did this and that. See, that now she on her deathbed. She gonna die and now she finna check out. You damn right, bitch. They checked me out the hospital, hoe. I'm still home, bitch. I got out at the beginning of January. We now almost at the end of goddamn February, hope. I'm alive and standing in this motherfucker. Thank God I am, because I get to see how everything I said, that all these black bitches laughed and emailed me and sent death threats to me and don't talk about Lauren no more. You a lying, jealous old bitch and all that shit. Well, the stuff I said about Lauren London also came true. She's no good. She was no good for Nipsey. She set him up with P. Diddy, her lover. That's also Cassie was a lover. I told y'all that like 3 years ago. Y'all don't want to believe me now. This shit is coming out. She watched Cassie get her ass beat, get her face knocked in, get her nose broke. And they said she was a best friend. Even one of the hairstylists in Atlanta said that Diddy only trusted Lauren around Cassie after he done whooped her ass. So Lauren knew all this and seen it. And you mean tell me she never got a taste of it? Diddy whooped Lauren London's sister ass and whooped it so bad, paid her off, and then Diddy destroyed her career. She was no longer anybody else's stylist. Once she wasn't his, and they gave her the money for beating her fucking ass. Lauren didn't do nothing about that or say nothing about it. And you know, to this day, she still won't say that. Diddy is being exposed and under fire for fucking men, drugging men and women. Do you see Lauren saying anything or speaking out or dissing herself? No, she's not. Because he got some shit on her and videos on her and tapes and shit on her. You think she gonna cross him? He already told her, let me tell you something, bitch. You think you finna get out there and do that? You know what I got for your motherfucking ass. You might not be breathing neither. Now you said she's not gonna do it. Didn't I tell y'all that she was not gonna stand up for Nipsey? She was not gonna demand justice. She was not gonna get a private investigator. She was not gonna speak out. She was not gonna have a rally to demand justice with her celebrity and get them involved with the power she got. You see, 4 years later, she has not, because she know who did it, and she was in the motherfucking shit. She friends with Big U, just like Tanisha friends with Big U, and Tanisha might be related to Big U through marriage. Y'all are not gonna tread on this cobra over here, bitch, because this cobra will bite your motherfucking ass, and I'm full of venom, bitch. You will not beat me. You will not destroy me. And what destroys a person that's supposed to be a prophet and a seer? Their prophecy not coming to pass, and you prove them as a false prophet and a liar. Have I been proven a liar and a false prophet? Because if you cannot do that based on my record and my reputation, you are not going to be able to do it. Oh yes, bitch, I am the king cobra in this bitch. And they see all things. And that is the caduceus, the medical symbol worldwide, and it comes from Egypt, Africa. Oh yeah, I listen to them as well. Because they have all the knowledge, and that's exactly what your DNA looks like. A double helix. Two snakes talking to each other. And we know it's deeper than that. Let me tell you another thing. Someone said about me, and I used to believe totally, but now I do not. I know I am not one of them, but I am both of them. Some people didn't know that that was me from back in the day when I started off. And, I was influenced by my preacher mother, and I have so many preachers that are my relatives. And, I grew up here in that world, in that very fucked up world of religion and preachers and shit. And sometimes I get to talking and you can hear it come out because that's what my life was. You saw the video. If anybody watched the video I put up a couple days ago, that's about 20, almost, it's over 15 years old. And I was talking about us being star children and all of the elements in us and being the same as they find out of space and on Mars, in these different planets. That is a fact. And I'm coming more and more in contact with that as I create. During this period of pain that I've been working through becoming my own Valentine, I have created new hair formulas. I created a new formula based on my own pain, dealing with extreme swelling, edema in my feet and legs for about 8 years now. Couldn't get it down. Because of my experience in the hospital, I created a formula when they let me go, when they finally let me go. And I wanted to take pictures. I might take some. I just been too worn out. It wore me out. It depressed me. I just very exhausted. It really affected my body and my sleep. So I didn't want to come take pictures of you looking like shit. I mean, I did the one video to you and I laughed with you and I felt good that day. And I didn't want to tell you, but I was going through it that day, and working through my own demons and my own pain. And I collapsed after that video. I went deeper into my own pain and it sent me down. And I wasn't going to come out of that to do regular videos, even though I was keeping up, but a lot of you didn't know. And some of the people still talked to me and sent me the messages. I was still keeping up with what was going on. And they said, drip strikes again. Look at this. Look at that. Look at New York. Look at California. Look at this plant. I think last night somebody sent me a picture of a plant. And one of these United States states, a chicken farm that had about 20 million chickens caught on fire, and we know it was set on fire to create a deficit and food shortage, to make you take what is coming on and the mark of the beast and the fake food, 3D printed meat, all these things. We would be in a position where we'd be forced to take that if you don't, because you got to eat if you don't have your own source of food supply. Remember when I told you Nipsey said to me there was going to be war and there would be secession in some states pulling away from the federal government, the governor pulling away. I said that a year or two ago, forming their own states, their own cities, and there be war, almost like Confederate style war in the U.S. Unfortunately, we might see the first attack and invasion in U.S. as we would see in so-called third world countries when the U.S. goes over there and fuck with them and kill innocent women and children and create famine, a feast of famine, and destroy property and homes, and people are outside and bloody and homeless and at the mercy of the government, who anybody will give them something. And he said this is also confirmed what I told you that he said before. I said, y'all start finding these bodies and body parts in these different states where they done kept them in the house and the attic and the basement and shit. I seen some the other day, they kept somebody in the refrigerator. I think it was in New York. There's a lot of that shit going on in New York, be coming out of there. I think it goes on everywhere. For some reason, the news always spotlight that shit. I think a day or two ago, they found a motherfucker cut up, put on chill, goddammit, put on ice. I don't know if the motherfucker put on ice so they can goddamn clean him and skin him and goddamn spice him and saute the motherfucker and put some flour and deep fry the motherfucker for later on. Because you'll be surprised, a lot of humans love human flesh. They always have. They did it during slavery. Roasted and ate black folks during slavery. There's a book called The Delectable Negro. You need to get a copy of that, or if you can get a PDF and download that, The Delectable Negro, where there were actually slaves recounting what they saw white folks do to certain black folks, roast them and eat them and talk about how good their flesh is. And there was a few years ago, I saw a book. I heard some KKK. They were talking about this, and they wrote this book. They want to start a race war, and they would say during that war, and when they would get hungry, they would be eating niggers because they like the taste of that dark flesh. They said some of them say it's got a sweetness to it. I said this years ago. Now we see this here, and you could find it online, how to drain a human properly without busting the guts, because it's just like on a deer and some other animals. Once you clean them, if you don't hang them up right and let them bleed out and you cut them guts, that guts hit that meat, that shit in ways, it totally destroys the meat. The meat is no good. They show you how to do it to a human and take the guts out of a human without busting them and ruining the meat. Yes, how to bleed them out, how to cut them, how to wash them, how to season them, which parts of the body more tender. Like Jeffrey Dahmer said, some of the men he killed was athletes. He didn't really like their flesh because like in their thighs and shit, the meat was too tough because they was very athletic, had built a lot of muscle up. It wasn't soft and tender. It was very muscular underneath there. And we talk about how it tastes, and he had this Philippine young boy in there, I think was 13 years old, and he told the police it was a gay relationship. The police let that boy stay there with him. He killed that boy, and he had some black folks he was in there killing them, and I think he said he liked it. They meat better. The colored meat was more tender and had like a sweet, Lord Jesus. See, what y'all need to understand is some niggas that eat niggers. See, y'all looking at the wrong thing. Y'all looking at white folks and hating white folks and disliking white folks and thinking that white folks is all y'all enemies and black power, all that shit. You can't trust them conscious black power motherfuckers, because a lot of them will set your ass up to be raped. I'm talking about gang raped. Oh, yes, I've been hearing these stories for years. Women that got out of that conscious community up in New York and other places, all that consciousness shit. A lot of them, they want to fuck them. And if them girls wasn't into that misogynistic type of shit, honoring, worshiping men, doing whatever they tell them to do, looking at these men like they gods, and into this husband sharing or your man sharing, where he can have his polygamy, and they honor the man. He can have as many pussies that he want, but you can't have no more dick. You gotta take that shit. You don't want to play that game. They'll set you up to be drugged and raped. Tape it. Who the fuck are you going to tell? Who gonna believe you? Plus, they hanging that over your head. That's why I don't fuck with them. I mean, you see what they tried to do to me. For what, I don't know, because I was never inside of those circles. I never heard of that shit. I never grew up around that shit. I was never a vegetarian. That doesn't suit me well anyway. I eat the diet I was born on and the plants that are native to where I live, and my body will heal very well. It's whenever I do what my grandmother did and grow the vegetables she grew and eat them, my body heals very nicely. That shit, them people, I was never around. I'm glad I wasn't. They started coming after me when I started going viral on the internet in 2006 and 2007 with my Vagina Power show on public access down here in Atlanta. And it went into all these homes. I had a lot of people that loved me and that was following me, going crazy because they never heard anybody talk about that and do that. And after that, all these women started saying pussy and dick and talking vulgarly. But the difference is they don't have the knowledge that I have. I never studied under nobody. Nobody ever trained me. No bitch ever took me under their wing that was spiritual. Everything that's given to me is given to my guides, through my guides and through ascended beings that speak to me and teach me. And if it wasn't, since I've been out here almost 20 years now, somebody would have came forward and told you not only was I a fraud, because people try to say that about me, I'm a fraud, I'm a liar, but they cannot say she's a fraud because she got this from such and such. Somebody said that about me under the King Bond reading, where somebody took my King Bond reading, and I don't care if you do, they down uploaded on their page. You can share my videos. I don't really care. You can share pieces of my videos. Actually, that will help me a lot. If you want to take pieces of segments of my videos from this show or any other show, you want to upload them to Instagram, you want to upload them to YouTube, I really wish that you would, to keep me circulating and keep more people knowing about me, introducing me to them. Tag me on Instagram. I will say something to you. I will follow you. You follow me and upload my shit. However many pieces you want, I don't care. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to file a complaint because you're helping me. And that will be a lot of support to me if you share my stuff and cut pieces and upload them and share them. Because I notice when people do that on Instagram, Bobby, which I love you very much. Thank you. And the lady that runs my AKT squad, she runs my page over on Instagram, supports me, shares all my old stuff I even forgot about, she shares. I love when she shared the white girl. Everybody loved it. I re-uploaded on my YouTube page. Someone shared with me the one I showed to you that I forgot about when I did that, and I was very proud of that piece. Since I've been so sick so long, I have to try to find those pieces because I kept everything on DVD. I would keep all my stuff on DVD or mini DV tape, and I don't think they film with those anymore. So what I would have to do is get a whole new computer, learn more technical stuff until I can get someone else new to help me do it. Either recycle those things or clean them, put them on a higher level, and then put them out. I mean, somebody said you should be making money for this. Yes, unfortunately, YouTube wouldn't monetize me, but I'm to the point now that some of those things I'm not really worried about selling. I would just want to share them and share my legacy and help it to get bigger and to keep growing. So that would still be showing me love, an offering of love and support to show it other ways if you cannot monetarily donate at this point. That's still a offering to me, and I would still appreciate it. I will not get offended by that. That's why I gotta say, yeah, come back to what I started with. I didn't finish. When I put that video up on Instagram, the one I just put up the other day with me having my black robe on and talking about us being star children, manifesting in the physical down here, someone women were commenting, and somebody commented saying you are the modern day Isis, and someone else said, no, I respectfully disagree. She is Ma'at. She's not Isis. And I laughed and I said, what they don't understand is they both are right. I'm both. I didn't know that and really think about that until after I got out of the hospital, because and I've always been doing it, but I didn't look at it that way. And I looked at, what is Isis? What is her definition? She's the great mother, and she's also a healer. That is what I am. I'm a mother. I am a teacher. Not only am I a physical mother to a son, but I am a mother to a lot of people who see me as a mother to them, or a sister, or a cousin, or they look at me as different things. But a lot of people look at me as a mother, or they tell me they wish I was their mother. And so now I embrace that. Like I said, I will not embrace the aunt. I will embrace the mother. And I said, but I am Isis. I am an embodiment of Isis and my aunt, because of me not only healing myself, where I've almost died several times and dealt with black mold in the house and infection, and how it almost tore my body up, and people trying to destroy me and make me sick with black magic and witchcraft. That can also destroy you or get into your life and create situations and circumstances where accidents or mold or funguses or viruses come into your life, opportunistic infections, and those things will move their way through them. When I was in the hospital, I was thinking about that, and every part of my life. I don't know why it happened like that, but after they pulled that infection out of me and all that mass of filth and so much pus they pulled out of me, I broke down. I was already very depressed because I was there, and I was very enraged, because of some things, that I experienced there and here because of what my skin was doing, and I couldn't control it, and it was a mess, and I understand why it was a mess. And one thing, I look at it like this too: when somebody's very sick and something happens to them and they have to go to a public place like a hospital, an emergency room, and emergency rooms are wild, they're off the chain because so many sick people are there at one time. You got so many doctors with so many traumas. People are running around, and it depends on how sick you are, what's going on with you. It's going to be a team on you. I had a team on me, and they were asking me, why is your skin doing this? What's wrong with your skin? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? And I'm just like, if I knew, I wouldn't be here. I know it's an infection, and this isn't the first time it happened, but I don't. And then I thought about it too, and I'm like, it's the mold that now I see other people, and I'm looking up on Google, and I'm looking up symptoms and skin problems, my skin problems, and the blackening in certain areas that ties into black mold. Another one of my supporters that watched the show, she works in the hospital, and another lady she was talking to, she listened to me. She said, tell Alexis that I had the same problem she has. My hands turned black, my feet turned black, my skin was blotched. And then I went to the hospital and I got a mold test, and they found out that's what it was, and they treated her. And I remember when I started going like 8, 9 years ago, they were saying, we don't know what this is. And your urine is clear, your blood is clear, but they weren't looking for the right thing. And I said, really? What happened to me? She said, yeah, I know this bitch is lying on you, and there's people talking about that's a bleach problem. That's not a bleach problem. That's mold poisoning and infection. She said, I saw hers. It looks just like what you said yours was. And I had shown my hand when I did the video, a week or two. Well, y'all saw me like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And after that, it's like when they pulled that out of me, and I went to my room, I got settled in a room. It's like my whole life flashed in front of me. It went out, and I just got reconnected. All of that pain, all of that trauma. So I don't know. I'm trying to understand with the epigenetics of everybody's body and the frequency, or what happens during your surgery. I'm sure a lot of people get surgery and that doesn't happen to them. They're fine. Every time in the past that I've gotten a surgery, I usually go through some type of awakening, and it takes me back to places in my life, and I break down. I was so emotional, and sometimes I'd be in that room by myself and I just start crying, and I had all of these emotions going from pain to heartbreak to rage, just all these things. And I was so angry that I had to be there and be seen like that, and my body was doing these crazy things. And then my body said to me, since I've been home and thinking about that, that's when another transition started. And those transitions are necessary. If a person refuses it and just pushes it down, and I'm okay and I'm all right and I'm going to take a drug, or I'm going to focus on something else and I'm going to ignore this, they're going to have a lot of problems later. Relationship with their selves, first of all, and relationship with others. And they're going to be fake because the person's not really expressing their true identity and personality that they were born with through the soul, and through the soul transition and the soul lessons. Many times we have soul lessons and we don't remember. We picked them. Once we were born into the physical body, it blinds you. And then one thing I learned about so-called dead people, they're just physically dead. Once they get out of the body, that trap shit, The personality that I see and the way they're talking, that's the real them before they get in the body, and then they get blinded by it. If they choose not to open up or be seen or see themselves and have psychic abilities to see, if it doesn't trigger and follow them like it's done me, these spirits have followed me and my real self has followed me and said, bitch, wake up. Okay, if we have to make this happen to you, to make you wake the fuck up, then we'll just keep bullying you. We'll just keep pushing you. We'll just keep sucker punching you until you wake up and you get out of this unnatural life that you're in and you go to become yourself again. Many people can't do that. So they will then, the physical body dies. They get up out of it and then they remember. And their personality, the real them, is the one I talk to and that I see. Usually the fake one is in the flesh body that you think is alive. The physical body is just animated and alive by the soul. But it's still not, based on the way you're raised and what you're taught in this fake ass society, it's not the real you. The real you and the energetic person at different levels of the soul and the different levels of the self are keeping the physical alive. And many times they will keep it alive to try to wake you up so that the soul in you can push through and manifest the will and the destiny of it and the ancestors before you physically die. And if you refuse to, the person will die and they will not manifest themselves and have an unfulfilled life and the destiny denied instead of delayed. It's up to you. And I started seeing, I said, damn, why is it every time I go through a surgery, this thing happens to me? This breakdown that ends up being a breakthrough, if I can have the courage to walk through it and deal with the pain. A lot of people face what I'm saying, but they're not going to say it in public because they don't want people to think they're crazy. And they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to face it. So they numb it or they drug it down with prescription drugs, psych meds, all that bullshit. And plus they don't have the courage to be themselves because they don't want their family to turn against them, their children, their husband, the life they know, they think is the only life they know or the best life they know. But every time somebody goes through a real fucked up situation like that, and then they get sick on top of it, and then they have to go through surgery, they have to go through here, if they go through physical therapy. A lot of them also have to go through mental and emotional therapy to become the real self, the real personality, and not becoming that is really holding that person back. And then usually when people go through that, it creates a separation, divorces, breakups, and they think that's the end of the world. And then as they become better and stronger and they change that personality, like I was talking about earlier, they meet someone so much better because they're just like them. But they think it doesn't exist and it's not possible. It's the only person for me. This is the only marriage for me. This is the only love. It's not the best love for you if it's not a true love that's helping you become your own Valentine and validating you, loving and respecting you and being a whole person separate of them. You don't have to be, oh, this is my other half, that bullshit they teach you. This is my other half. And then people will wear like a chain. I used to see that, a necklace with a broken heart, one half and it's broken, and the nigga got the other half. That's some bullshit. If you're walking around half of a person and your other half is somewhere else and you're only whole and complete when they're with you, you're fucked up and you're in trouble. Because a relationship with another person outside of you shouldn't complete you. If it does, you have some problems you need to fix within yourself and the other person can't do it. And if they do it when they're with you and you're happy and complete and then you get a breakup, you fall apart again. Because remember, you're just a half. You should fix your shit. And if you're with someone that wants to help you fix your shit, that's even better. Because they're cheering for you to win and be whole. Because they know you're going to be the best friend to them, the best lover to them, the best wife, the best teacher, the best mom. If they see you whole and not miserable, hiding shit and repressing shit. If a man is secure in his power, he knows that a woman is most powerful and the best to him in every way possible. And he has less drama in the relationship if that woman is whole and complete. Now, if the relationship is wrong, if the woman becomes whole and complete and the man is not matching her and being whole and complete, they're going to break up. And that's supposed to be anyway, because nobody should be with a person where you're making them happy and they're making you miserable because they're not on your level and they don't want to be, or they can't see the need of it because they don't have the psychic abilities. They're not empaths. That's not their path. That's what they weren't. They were not grown to do that. They might have just been placed in your life to help you with certain things that you needed them for at a certain time. And then they'll want to keep you there because they're afraid that as you grow and get bigger, you're not going to want them. You're not going to need them. When if you really love a nigga and a nigga love you, the stronger you get, the stronger the bond you're just going to get with the nigga if he's right for you. It's not going to make you leave because you grow. It's something about that relationship. The nigga know that he's holding you and keeping you broken. And he feels like that's the only way he can have you. I see, I went through that. That's the story of my life. And I learned the hard way. Nigga wanted to sabotage everything I did, break me, be a total narcissist, and feel like you wouldn't have me in your life to stay if I was healed and I was whole and I was complete and I did everything I wanted to do. Not willing to see me as who I really am. Because if I have a man that loves me and heals me and helps me heal myself and grow, I would never leave him. But instead, many people will stay. I've even seen women do that. They will hurt a man and secretly verbally abuse and physically abuse a man, and he's too embarrassed to tell people. She will hurt him and put him down because she feels like I can't keep him if I can't keep him broken. He has mother issues, sister issues. He has women issues before I met him. And they want to keep you there to keep you an advantage so they can still fuck on them. Because they're addicted to the person sexually. They're addicted to the person's energy. So I can't fuck on them no more if I can't keep them fucked up in the head. By taking things and sabotaging opportunities from them and telling everybody else not to do it. You know, I've lived that shit. It's really disgusting because when you see someone doing that to another person that has money and they use money to handicap some person and then they use their wounds to handicap them and they help to, if the person's depending on them, to sabotage opportunities for them to get to school or get to work. You know, you depending on them for the car, you depend on them for the money for the car, to take, care of insurances and gas and stuff. They'll then withhold it from you to keep you stuck because I ain't gonna be able to fuck on this bitch no more. And see, I can't stand the thought of nobody else fucking on her. So if I make her powerful the way she wants to be, she's intelligent, but I'm gonna tell her that she's not. And then it's really gonna help her get where she need to go, helping her get a job, to get her own money, helping her get in education, to get her own money. I'm not helping this bitch do a motherfucking thing. I'd rather kill this bitch. Or I'd rather watch this bitch get sick and watch her suffer and die like that. Because I'd rather have a bitch die than have a bitch be happy and whole and leave me. And you might not even be thinking anything like that. Especially if a man's good to you, why would you leave him? But these men think the opposite. No, I will keep the bitch from leaving me by taking shit from her and keeping her at a disadvantage. I know about all that shit. I can write a whole book on that shit. I think I am. Or either do a training video where y'all have to pay to download and put it on my site somewhere. Because I had time to figure that shit out. And it's a bad place to be in. When somebody knows your weaknesses and they're your lover, they're your nigga, and you trust them and bust nuts with them and you talk to them and tell them your problems, and then they get so insecure and so jealous. You know what? This bitch done got me turned out, but I don't want to tell the bitch. But you'll know you got the niggas strong out when the niggas start creating obstacles and building brick walls and setting you up for failure and shit. Taking money, taking opportunities from you. You'll know like something wrong with this nigga. This nigga's slightly off. You find not only this nigga's narcissistic, he's insecure. Motherfuckers obsessed with you, turned out on you. You can tell when somebody's turned out on you. And then they start calling you names and dumb and what you're going to do and where you're going to go. And because they know they got you jammed up like a rat in a cage. You see what I'm saying? See, I worked all that stuff. I just let it come out and I let it come up and I faced that stuff. And then what you need to do is create a game plan. Because nothing is ever going to change in your life if you don't take a different action, but you got to write a different plan based on the other personality that you create. Your alter ego, that person you talk to when nobody's looking. Yeah, I talk to her all the goddamn time. And you then have to write that every day. You have to take action. How can I make that reality, that personality true? How can I make that replace the other one? What am I going to do? What am I going to say? How am I going to act this differently? And who am I going to eliminate from my life? But you also have to eliminate that person that has gotten you to where you don't want to be in 2024. Because if your personality that you have now has gotten you where you are miserable and you are not your own Valentine, you need to kill that personality and you need to create a new one, or you're going to stay where the fuck you at, and your subconscious is going to recreate where you are that you don't want to be. That's what people don't understand. If you are where you are and you don't want to be there, your mind, your emotions, and your vibration brought you to that place for a reason. And if you don't want to sit with that, snot with that, cry with that, mourn with that, grieve with that, go to the shadow side and the underworld of yourself. Create a whole new personality, a whole new script, talk different, walk different, dress different, fuck with motherfuckers that are totally different than what you was fucking with, and think about yourself differently and create a game plan for the new person. I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that, I ain't talking to the bitch like that no more, I ain't fucking with a nigga like that no more, I ain't thinking about myself no more, I'm not treating myself like that, I'm not letting other motherfuckers treat me like that. If you don't change that, don't blame anybody but yourself. At the end of this year and going into 2025, you are where you are at the end of the year, December, moving into January next year, than where you are right now. Don't fucking complain if you're in the same fucking place, because nobody has the power to shift that but you. Don't blame the weather. Don't blame your nigga. Don't blame your children. Don't blame your job. Yes, it is difficult. No, it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, you got to deal with that shit every day. Yes, you got to sit in that shit. Yes, it's very painful. Who knows when it's over? Only you can decide when that's over, and or when that phase of it's over and you can move to another level. Because when you've been through a lifetime of abuse like I have, it goes in phases. You cannot get rid of all of it. Why? Because some of it still hurts. And if some of it still hurts, you need to sit with that. Because if you don't, that vibration is there. And what you don't want, you will attract again. When people say you attract what you are, that's not true. Because if I attract a liar and a cheater, that's not what I am. I live in truth. Now, it's always gotten me in trouble to tell the goddamn truth, but I did it. Even when I ain't want to do the shit, that's what I stood on. And suffered for it. But I have a deep sense of principle and integrity. I'll fight you based on principle alone. It don't even have to be money. I'll fight your ass on principle. Especially if you call me a liar. If you say something about me and you say it's true and I know it's not, you're going to have to prove it to the world. I'm going to make you do it. Or I'm going to find some shit on your ass. And if I say it about you, it's true. Because I'm going to show y'all some proof of what the fuck I'm saying. Don't do that to me unless you want to fight. Because I'll fight you about lying on me. And these people like to tell sexual lies. I don't know what that is. I can't get what that is. Why people like to lie on me and say I fuck a lot of niggas? Because you don't have any proof that I did it. But if I want to, sex is natural and it's beautiful with the right person. So I don't know why, when it comes to me, it's something I'm not supposed to do. I don't get. And she fucks these men, and the men coming and then call my ex, this bitch that was stalking me, got the number from the next door neighbors that tried to help her set me up to be murdered. And called my ex and told him that I was bringing 2 men in the house that she knew of. And one of them, she said his name. Just an idiot, a dumb fat bitch. And he called me and tell me. And he's like, I know the next door neighbors gave her my number. She was trying to act like she was trying to help me and be nice to me. And said that I know she's renting from you. She's your tenant and that you deal with her. And she's fucking niggas behind your back. And I said, would you please ask her to provide proof? Because I don't do that. And you know, you've known me. We were together almost 20 years. You know that. You know everybody over here. and nobody's told you or described niggas that I brought in and out of here. And a lot of these people are home every day like I'm home every day, and my door's always closed. They never told him this man came here, this is what he looked like, this is that. Nobody ever saw it, and they live right here with me. The neighbors didn't even fucking tell him that, and they don't like me, so they'd like to tell him. And then other people said it about me, and I'm just like, these people don't know me. I never met them. They never hang around me. They never been in my house. And these people have been saying this ever since I've been out for 20 years, that I fuck different niggas, and they know these niggas. But then when I say, well, why don't you have them on your show, and why don't you let them tell their relationship with me so they can put a face and a name to the men that you say come over here? She couldn't give it to my ex. She couldn't prove to him. And he made it very clear to her. He said, Alexis is nobody's tenant. She's not my tenant. And she's like, oh, I didn't know she owned that. I'm sorry. He said, yeah, okay. When she tried to turn this man on me, and she wanted this man to put me out, but he's not I'm not anybody's tenant. So I was his. He gave it to me. And out of all the years I've lived here, almost 20 years, nobody ever told him, here's a picture of the niggas that she have coming in and out. This is what they look like right here. Show this to her. She lies. Nobody's ever had any evidence on me like that, because I don't live dangerously like that. I don't want diseases. I don't play them kind of games. I don't do one night stands. I don't meet niggas on apps. I don't meet niggas on any of my messages. I never fuck nobody on YouTube. And I dare anybody to come forward that say that I ever fucked them on YouTube. I never fucked them from a DM. I ever fucked them from any social media. They need to come forward. Because if I was doing that, I know they would have told on me by now. Not one nigga on the internet ever come forward and say I fucked them and I met them on the internet. I don't play that kind of shit. That's one thing I know to control is my sexuality, because when you're the type of person that people always come at you and want to give you some dick, what I worked on was keeping my body count low. Now, if I had done stuff like that, I would have had so much dicks up in me over the years, and I never have done no shit like that. I never met strangers and did no shit like that. You would know, because I've been out here so long. So many people don't like me. Men don't like me. Women don't like me. If she really had that type of information, other people really had that information, and they want to destroy me, they want to destroy my credibility, they don't want to destroy my character, they don't want y'all to trust me, they don't want y'all to believe anything I say, they would have, just like I'm begging now, I have begged for years for them to please bring the niggas forward, because y'all keep saying that, and you don't know me, you don't know nobody that know me, and yeah, I'm grown, I could do that. It's not illegal to fuck niggas off the internet and have one-nighters, but that's not how I live. And you all have sent me videos of people talking about me that don't like me. I don't really listen to them anymore. I just ask you all, does the person have any proof of what they said? Once the person says no, I don't want to see the video. I don't want to listen to it. Everything y'all sent me, y'all would have definitely sent me videos. They're like, this nigga right here, his name is such and such. He's being interviewed. He said he been fucking you off and on, and that you paid him or he paid you. He been digging your ass in Atlanta for 5 years now that you do this, you do that. It's nobody ever came forward on me like that. The relationships I have, like the one I have with my ex, that's a grown ass man. He would never do that. I would never do that to him. Even though we've been mad at each other, we fought, now we cool. We still have love for each other. He's not trying to hurt me. I'm not trying to hurt him. He check on me. He knows that I'm single. I don't have a man. And he makes sure I'm okay. He sends his friends over. You know, they clean my yard. They take my trash out for me. He wanted to make sure I had a dependable refrigerator. It was very clean and sanitary and cold. He bought the one that I've been begging for years. We're not together, so I didn't ask him about it no more. He's not obligated to do shit for me. And he's like, I'm going to go get the refrigerator you want. You know, that big double door one that you like with the ice and the water and shit on it. I said, no, you ain't got to do that. No, I promised you that a long time ago, and I got to keep my promises to you. I just went and paid cash for it. I'm like, can they wait? No, they on their way now. So I don't feel good. You got to get up, because whether you like it or not, I already paid for it and it's on its way here. That was when I got home about 2-3 weeks ago. And I told y'all about it. Just bought. It's beautiful. I'm in love with that refrigerator. Even though it's too big right now, they still got to come in the kitchen and cut the wall out to push it in the space because it's so big. I'm in love with the refrigerator. I told him you can cut the wall because I'm in love with the refrigerator. You know, I always want one of those. And so he says, okay, we're gonna bring popcorn back because he popcorn cut it a couple weeks ago, but he didn't cut enough, so he can't push it back. So I really can't cook. I really can't do anything in there or set my altars out for Nipsey. So I'm just gonna have to order us some Ethiopian food. So if y'all want to donate to that and set up for me to set up his altars and to feed him and even do the Valentine, because I want to do a big Valentine's Day altar. Even though I feel kind of bad, I want to do an altar. And I'm like, I'm asking people to donate so I can do an altar and feed him and have his food there. I always did it. That's why y'all haven't seen it. I wasn't feeling good going through my own shit. But then, two, they're working in the kitchen. So they had to move stuff out, pack the stuff up. So my other altar is blocked. I can't really get back there. They had to put the boxes there, and then they had to have that space clear and go and try to cut the wall to push the refrigerator back. Popcorn didn't cut enough of the wall on one side, so he pushed it some, but it's so tall and so big that he couldn't get it all the way in there unless he cut some more wall away. I don't even care if he cuts the wall because that's what I wanted. So that's two why you haven't seen any food, anything up there. Because I can't really move around in the kitchen. My kitchen's not a wide kitchen. It's not a big kitchen. It's a narrow kitchen. So that made it even more narrow because that refrigerator is sticking out like in the floor. It's literally hanging out on the kitchen floor. So, and that's right in front of the stove and the counter. Ugh. It's so frustrating, but at the same time, I'm happy. Um, so I have to wait till when they can come back over and push it all the way in. Then I can have my space. And like on the other side of the refrigerator is more cabinets and my canned goods and spice and stuff. I can hardly get over there because it's sticking out. So because somebody had emailed me and asked me if I buy you the food, you pick out what you want, I'll pay for the groceries. Will you cook for King Nipsey? Would you cook for King Von? I want you to cook, put on the altar. I said, baby, I can't get to the altar. If I did, it'll uh, be a little bit dangerous for me because I gotta move the chair, move the boxes to get over there, put the food there, and have the stuff out. So I'm like, so that's what's going on. But I told her I could buy food, but she was saying she didn't have it to donate right now. She was like, I could just get it, my stamps. And I said, no, baby, I don't do that. And I said, I just, ask people to donate and I can buy because I love Ethiopian food. I love Ethiopian culture. I love Eritrean culture. You'll see on Instagram, I share a lot of it because I love it. And I think the people are absolutely beautiful. I love their dance, their movement, their beauty, their food, their spices. I'm so glad now they have places. I saw a place in Texas. This lady's Ethiopian, and I think the guy is Spanish or Mexican or something. They combined American dishes like we love, like barbecue ribs and fried ribs and collard greens. They put Ethiopian spices in them. So you have this American soul food and barbecue and collards, and they put with the Ethiopian seasonings on the fried chicken. I'm sure this stuff is amazing. And the people that were tasting it said it was amazing. And Ethiopian food is also Eritrean food. They eat the same food. Um, so when I was in the hospital, I said I would get really well if somebody could just bring me some Ethiopian food. And I'm like, hey, can I order takeout? They were like, no, you cannot. And they said, like, if you were in the emergency room, you could call them and go out and get it. But now you're admitted. We're not going to allow strangers to come up here and deliver. I'm like, I want some Ethiopian food so bad. I want some of that brown injera, goddamn it, and mash it up in that juice and shit. And they're like, you can't, not that you're up here. And I'm like, damn. And since I'm at home, I haven't had none. I want some so bad. And I want to share it with Nipsey and put it on the altar and give him his Valentine's Day gift because he's so beautiful. And he's been so good to me. But anyway, I hope I'm going to go now. Wow, I didn't realize I was talking to you this long. I just want to get it out. I want to share it with you, and I hope that someone listen to this show that has been through what I've been through and has the feelings that they've hidden and they've struggled with inside that can hear me and hopefully learn from, what I'm going through as I'm walking myself through every day that's been very difficult. And um, to know that you're not alone. You're not the only person, but what I'm going to do for you, as well as myself, as I've struggled through this, I'm going to write down. I created a whole program around this, which also ties into what Nipsey gave me. You know, throw your pussy. You know what I'm saying, on the sidewalk. Goddamn it, throw your pussy on the goddamn asphalt. Vagina power healing, vagina power dance. I thought about that. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. And I'm so grateful that y'all ain't shit. Why I say that? Because the younger women and the younger men encouraged me to do my vagina power dance. And Nipsey gave me that dance, that information. And I've never danced in public since I've been an adult. I've never sang in public, as an adult. I sang, and this is the first time I was so terrified to do my little dance, my vagina power dance. I wanted all y'all to throw y'all pussy with me. You know what I'm saying? See? See, I never thought I was better than anybody or bigger than anybody, this vagina power shit. I never believed I was the only one supposed to throw my pussy. I want all y'all to throw y'all pussy and be a vagina power, goddamn it. Throw your pussy on the asphalt. Throw your pussy on the goddamn sidewalk in this bitch for 2024. I ain't throwed mine for the New Year's. Yeah, goddamn, I had to get it together. I had to get, well, I'm happy and I feel good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do my libations to the ancestors and throw it. I want y'all to throw it too. If it wasn't for y'all, younger women and men that encouraged me, I wouldn't have did it. And it's like when I did it at first, y'all said, do that shit again. Did the shit again, goddamn it. Got naked, put that red on. The only thing y'all didn't know is, like I said, I was suffering. I had the cyst on me then. I was trying to get it down. It was growing. And I just didn't want to show I was hurting. So I pushed through the pain. I kept working and I kept dancing for the ancestors. I kept sharing with you all, and it kept getting out of control. And the infection had been there for a long time. And when I look at things like that happen that you don't want to happen, if that had not happened and I was literally forced to go to the hospital, I see now what I have learned and the breakdown of that, and the breakthrough, and I have created better products to make hair grow. I have created a new product because I've suffered, like I said, with my feet and legs being swollen, and I couldn't find anything to get them down. I got them down, and that's the only thing that I can contribute that to. Is many times God, your ancestors, the force that's with you, like Luke, Star Wars, may the force be with you. That force will push you into places you consciously don't want to go, even though you know you should, and you're afraid of that. Because I had so many bad experiences at the hospital in the past, I did not want to go. And the force pushes you that way. There's no other outlet, because like I told y'all before, when it happened, I went to urgent care, which is smaller, more secluded, more private, and I thought that they just cut you open, squeeze it like a pimple, pop it, drain it, sew it back up, you go home, get your medicine. Nobody really knows. It's quiet, it's low key, even though it's on your record or whatever. When doctors type you in, they see it on their files. I didn't really care. I just wanted low key. I didn't want a lot of people to know. I didn't want anybody to see me because my skin was a mess. And the universe, made that doctor tell me no. She said, I'll give you an antibiotic to hold you for a day or two, but you got to go to ER. This thing is bigger than what I have ever seen and what I ever popped. I'm not going to attempt to pop that. That is too serious. You need to go to a dermatologist to get them to take it out. Or if you don't get better before midnight, You need to go to ER. Don't wait till tomorrow, try to find a dermatologist. And I said, I don't want to go to ER. Can't you just pop this for me? She said, not that. I've never seen anything like that in my life. It's huge. Here, here's a prescription. Let me call it in for you. I said, please call in for you because I don't think I can make it there tonight. She says, you got to get out of here. And I left and I said, I'm not going to the ER. I'm going to stay home and this is going to be okay. And I'm going to try to get this down. The force didn't care about what I thought and what I felt because the force and the universe and your higher self always knows more than you. And they knew what that was going to lead to. And that happening to me, I have been sitting here, even though I have been in mental and emotional pain, working through my shit, new formulas that are better than the ones that Nipsey gave me before. He gave me this. This shit is amazing. I lost a lot of hair because you can look at my old videos and see how long my hair was. And I was forced to cut it off because almost 4 years now. When he came into my house after he was assassinated in 2014, I was dealing with female pattern baldness. I had no sideburns. I had no edges. The top part of my head, and I love that part. I've been wearing that part since I was in love with Vanity. Nasty girl Apollonia. Wearing that style and the feathered haircut and layered down and hanging down. I've had that part there since then. Well, that part got so wide because it was bald. The top of my head was balding. I thought it was probably as a result of being hereditary because I saw that on the female gene. My great grandmother, I had the pleasure of growing up with her until I was 10. She lived in our building in the projects. My grandmother took care of her and she also had the garden for her. She had no hair in the top. It was completely bald from the forehead back. It was gone. And she had a little bit around the sides that was completely gray. And sometimes my grandma, we would grease her head and had little bitty plaits, or maybe about 2 inches long. Her hair was never long and beautiful. Okay. My grandmother had longer hair, but she always wore her wigs to protect her hair. She would get it, what they call a Marcel line hot curl. We had the lady at the end of the building that would hot curl our hair. My grandmother never gave me a relaxer. She never let us got a relaxer. My hair was always long and wavy, like my half sisters. But my mother's hair was straighter. So we didn't need relaxers. My mother would get one anyway. I don't know why she didn't need it. And she would get her hair dyed blonde, honey blonde, which was absolutely gorgeous on her with her complexion. She had a beautiful honey complexion, so that just set her off. Everywhere she went, men went crazy. We never got relaxers. And I noticed the same thing with my grandmother, but what I also noticed, they both were taking high blood pressure meds. They were extremely overweight and they ate a lot of fats and stuff and a lot of pork. So, and that I've looked at some blood pressure medicines will make a woman's hair shed really bad, make her go bald in the top, have the female pattern baldness. Okay, they were taking that. I never took blood pressure medicine. I never had a high blood pressure. So, but it was still happening to me. Now I also found out it's one of the symptoms of black mold poisoning. It will pull your hair out. And my scalp would have this thick white crust and film on it like a cradle cap. That was mold and fungus in the head, which was basically suffocating the follicle. It went all the way back to my crown. It was bald up there. Nipsey saw it and gave me his formula. I started using it. You've seen pictures of my natural hair. I don't like to wear my natural hair out. Of course, I wear it at home. I wear it out at home because I don't want to do anything to it. I can't. I mean, I'm so disappointed because it's like now where the bald hair was, there's baby hair. So that hair has grown back, but it's shorter than the longer hair because it was nothing there. So all that hair, my edges, my baby hair around my edges, my sideburns have grown back. Actually, I actually have to shave. You know, I'm gonna have to get electrolysis done because I have all this peach fuzz all over my face. So, and these sideburns grow so long, I just have to take a razor and I have to gently kind of glide across it to get all of that peach fuzz off of there and then kind of line up my sideburns. So it's grown back in, but it's still not where it was. It's still not long like I wanted until I had to chop it. I just said, fuck it. I'm not going to mourn over this. I'm not going to have all these stray, stringy pieces. I'd rather have it short and strong and even than longer and stringy. So I cut all of it and I just slick it back and where it was so funny in the hospital when some of the nurses would come in, they would always see me with my scarf on. And I had my wig on the counter. And I hate wearing wigs, but it's just a necessity right now. I have to learn how to wear them and make them look good and all that shit. I just can't braid my hair down. My hair is so fine and it's so sensitive. If I had them tight braids in my head, it would make my hair shed as well. I know some other people have told me they have that issue. I can't. My hair is real fine and soft. And so I can't do those braids. I'm going to have to figure out something because I'm not going to do heat or anything on my natural hair. Now it is anchored in the roots. I've cleaned my scalp, opened the follicle, and with the formulas he gave me in 2019 and 2020, the hair is now stable. It doesn't shed when I touch it. If I comb it hard, it doesn't come out. But now I want more growth. But what I'm also thinking, I had so much infection in my body. I'm sure that slowed it down. Um, and a lot of times infection and viruses or bacteria and funguses can eat up your nutrients. So now I'm replacing all of those things so my body can heal, you know, giving those nutrients and that infection is gone. So now I have stronger formulas now that I got out of the hospital. And I've also been experimenting with them because, you know, I like to use everything on myself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the formulas to people that are close to me, that trust me, that I trust. Even though they really have no hair problems, I'm going to work with, because this is for growth and nutrients to help to heal and sustain the scalp and nourish the follicle. So I'm giving it to them for growth to see if this works because I know that it is working on me. I created that. I created other skin formulas because my skin, I look like Chester Cheeto. I look like a cheetah, basically. Had those black spots anywhere. My hands are lightening, but I have to go slow with them. I don't want to damage that skin. That is the most stubborn place. The rest of my body is responding very well and lightening back up by itself. But I have new skin formulas and I'm using them myself. I just have to go slow with it. And that's been a little bit, you know, be real patient. I don't want to rush in and strip my skin. But the black spots gradually lightening. My feet are not black anymore. Um, all this stuff, the bad things, these are the blessings that I've gotten from them. I have products I know I would not have had. I wouldn't have thought of if I hadn't gotten that ill, almost died, and had to go to the emergency room. I'm not finished with them all, and some of them I cannot share um, because just you know, legal reasons. The ones that are deeper, I cannot at this time give out because I still have to complete the process on those. Those are internal. They're supplements that you take that I've been taking that I know for a fact work. They help with the immune system and the veins, arteries and veins, and that was my biggest problems, having the veins, because I wasn't able to exercise and run for so many years God, I hate the way my body looks right now. I have to get in shape because I haven't been able to run in so long. And now to see them with the new formula I created to take, it's a supplement you take, a herbal capsule you take. And I'm sitting here right now. I can feel my ankles. I can feel my bones and all of my toes. I hadn't been able to do that for years. Or sometimes I do, it goes up and down. So I have a whole new catalog of things that he gave me. Um, I'm very grateful. And I look forward to sharing them with you. So, out of the bad, there have been good things. The ISIS side of me has become more awakened. And, you know, my side has always been awakened about not liking to see nobody being fucked over and done wrong. I'm about balancing the scales. I'm about justice, but I don't want to be just about that because I can't be as helpful. You know, you see somebody done wrong, you speak out about it, or I've been done wrong, I fight you and I speak out about it. You know, that's one thing. But when you're actually on the ISIS side, which is the mother and the healer, you have the power to create products. And I've done this for years and didn't realize that was a part of ISIS, the mother, the healer, the teacher, the life bringer, the ones that give birth to nations. I've made products before I went on television and started being public with what I have in 2006. I was making them in 1999. I was making them and I was making them for my grandmother because she suffered from extreme arthritis and she was in a lot of pain. I was making liniments and cayenne pepper liniments. I just put some on today because when I wake up so stiff, I put it around my neck. I put it on my back in between my shoulder blades and it released tension. I put it around my waist, especially if I'm going to work out and I don't wake up as sore. With my cayenne pepper liniments and just the hot pepper oils. I love it. I love it hot. The hotter the better. It relaxes me, relaxes my muscles. So I've always done it. But to go to another level with it was when Nipsey got here. And I'm actually dealing with the cellular structure of things, dealing with the subatomic particles of things and what they do to the body and what needs to be done to the body to resurrect and restore the body. And who is Nipsey Osiris? Osiris was murdered and then goes into the underworld and he was dead and then now he becomes alive. He is the God of immortality. And I want to share that with you. It's incredible. I have another chance to live again, to be healed, to be restored. And it's because of your love and your support that I'm still here. And I have the courage to be here and do it again, but do it better. Because in my illness and my descension into the underworld without physical death, but came very close to it, I've come back with some more elixirs of immortality. And I'm using them on myself first. Of course, that is the right thing to do. I can't ask you to trust me. Now I know a lot of you trust me. You've bought my products in the past and you like them. I got very good reviews. But now I am taking you deeper into the underworld with the new ones that I have created. Now people have asked me, what I was going to tell you with a little story about the hospital. I wore my scarf, and what I would do was get up really early before I knew the doctor was coming in, and I would wet my hair, because that's all I basically have to do to it, to put some water on it. And then I use the aloe vera plant for the sticky gel, or I'll get the aloe vera gel. Basically put my hair grow oils on there to stimulate my follicle. And I'll, put some aloe vera gel on it to hold the moisture in it, and so I can slick it down. And I comb it back into a ponytail and I put my scarf on before the nurses or the doctors come in. So I don't know what they were thinking about how my head probably looked because I never took my scarf on off in front of them. I would do it when they weren't around. This happened to me like with 2 or 3 nurses came in, because your door is not locked and you don't know when they're coming. They just walk in. So wherever you are, you just are. Well, I just learned to be comfortable with the shit, when they come in. So if I'm in the bathroom, use the bathroom, it's like, hey, it is what the fuck it is. And, I got over being embarrassed or ashamed or whatever, but I just didn't want anybody to see my head. So I was sitting there. My hair was wet early in the morning, and so I had my scarf off just let it get some air for a minute. And I didn't know a nurse was coming, and a nurse came in, and she looks at me and she goes, and she said, your hair. I was like, I'm sorry you saw that. I was going to put my scarf back on. She said, it's absolutely beautiful. It is so black and straight and wavy. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I said, I didn't want you to see it. I know you're coming. She said, why? And then she points to the counter. Why do you have that wig over there when you've got that? And I said, what? Because of my age, you're surprised? You thought I was hiding something. You didn't know that was under there. I try not to let people see that. She said, I just can't believe it. And she walks in and she said, oh my God, you're beautiful. I said, okay, thank you. I didn't want you to see that. And she comes closer and looks all around the sides and the back. She said, your hair is so black and beautiful. She said, why do you do that? Why do you have that wig over there? All right, and I told her what I told you all. I said, no, I went through a lot and I got sick and my skin was infected and it infected my head and I had to cut a lot. So it's not the where I want it to be yet. So I don't want any stress on it, no heat, nothing. So I just cover it. And she was like, you should take that off. You don't even need a wig. And I was like, well, I feel like I do. It's not where I want it to be. I show it sometimes, but I don't really, especially being in here, I have to lay down a lot. So I just took the wig off so my hair could breathe. And I just covered. And then she left, and I think maybe later in the day or next day, another nurse caught me with it off, and she froze the same way and pointed to the counter. Why are you wearing that big ass wig? I said, because I can protect my hair like that. She said, but look at it. Why are you doing that with that hair? I was like, I'm trying to protect it. I'm trying to do the right thing. So they thought it was beautiful, but I don't. It's still not where I want it to be. I'm still disappointed, but I understand with the illness in my body stuff I was going through that kind of like delayed the growth. What I'm telling you is I've created a new product that will speed up growth. Now, I do believe that it's not just about age, it's about your diet, it's about your vitamin and minerals, it's about your hormones. They need to be balanced because that will also take the hair out. You need DHT blockers, and if you don't have your estrogen and your testosterone levels where they need to be, your sex hormones, basically your sex hormones control this. If you don't have your sex hormones up and you don't have a DHT blocker, you will lose your hair. Now you can restore it, but I'm just telling you those health things because those are things that you need to fix or you're going to keep losing hair. What I've done now with the products Nipsey gave me, and I have the DHT blockers in them, it is stable. The hair does not come out. What hair you have, you can keep it. It won't be shedding and thinning anymore. But then now what I want to deal with is putting it back in the antigen phase, which is the growth phase. That phase can last up to 7 years. And now I know how to do that. Why? Because of what happened to me. The bad things brought in the blessings. Okay. I've talked to you all enough today. I think I'm going to go. And, this will just be here for you all that want to see it. And the ones that are here, I thank you for the time you shared. I thank you for the donations we received during the live. And I ask the people that happen to please donate so I can continue to get well and to do the work that I do. And I'll have to do the reading and come back. And it did make me feel better to spend some time with you. I felt you through the phone. I felt your love and encouragement and support through the phone. And I know you know now I'm okay. I didn't get sick again. I'm all right. I'm still here and I'm going to go so I can spend my Valentine's Day with me and, continue to do my work. So I love you and I'll talk to you soon.